Since my Hiroshima video sparked a lot of debate, I think it's only fair that we take a look at some of the most horrific things Japan did during World War II, each one darker than the last. Before the atomic bombings, Japan had planned for a horrific biological attack on California. Submarines would launch planes to drop fleas infected with bubonic plague over San Diego, hoping to trigger mass death and chaos across the US. Scheduled for September 1945, it was only halted when Japan surrendered weeks earlier, narrowly preventing one of history's deadliest biological attacks. During the war, Japan's military forced tens of thousands of women, many as young as teenagers, into sexual slavery. Known as comfort women, they were trapped in military brothels, raped by dozens of soldiers each day, and often left broken by disease, pregnancy, or suicide. Survivors who later spoke out described it as a daily death they were forced to endure for years. When Japanese troops invaded Nanjing in 1937, the city descended into 6 weeks of unrestrained horror. Hundreds of thousands of civilians and prisoners of war were executed, often by machine guns, bayonets, or mass burnings. Up to 80,000 women were systematically raped, sometimes murdered immediately after, and sometimes mutilated as a warning to others. Eyewitnesses described rivers flooded with corpses and roads so littered with bodies that walking became impossible without stepping on the dead. And perhaps the most horrific of all, Japan's Secret Unit 731 in Manchuria carried out some of the most sadistic experiments in history, using men, women, and even children as disposable test subjects. Some prisoners were deliberately infected with painfully deadly viruses, then dissected alive without anesthesia so doctors could study how the diseases destroyed living organs in real time. Others were tied to stakes while grenades or flamethrowers were tested on them, or left outside in sub-zero cold until their flesh blackened with frostbite, before doctors hacked off limbs one by one to see how long they could survive. Some had their arms amputated and reattached to the other side of their body, while others had their entire skin slowly peeled off to see how long it would take them to die. In all, tens of thousands of people were killed through torture disguised as science, and not a single test subject ever made it out alive. Perhaps most shocking of all, many of the doctors who oversaw these experiments walked free after the war, trading their horrific research to America in exchange for immunity.